What's up, limp dicks? This is Pliskit, and today we're going to be looking at the next episode, well, episode 2 of More Orel, and this is a weird episode. I don't know how I'm going to talk about it without getting demonetized.
Hey, over here. Yeah. You can't be demonetized because you're not monetized. So, yeah, you don't have to worry about it.
Oh, that's right. Alright, well, fuck it. This is the episode where Orel rapes a bunch of women. Sup, Crocajacks? Just playing a little bit of dice. So before the video starts, I want you to go ahead, like and subscribe, and leave a fucking comment, motherfucker. Fucking 42! Yeah, bitch! Episode 2 starts with Orel in school. In between classes, he heads into the bathroom, followed by Clicky, the school janitor. Clicky hears Orel making strange sounds from the stall. After a series of questions, the old janitor realizes that Orel was beating his shit. Orel finds himself in Principal Fakey's office. Fakey tells Orel that stretching the bacon is evil, worse than even murder. When asked why, the principal doesn't really seem to have an answer, just that
there are some things that are burned so deep into a person's subconscious that you forget just why they're there. You only know that they've scarred you in such a horrible and personal way that they must be right.
This guy is definitely messed up. As we'll see later on in the series, Fakey's level of delusion and narcissism is off the chart. He's definitely not the type of guy who should be running a school. Orel is passed over to Reverend Putty, who explains that choking the chicken is murdering millions of potential people, and that God hates it because
sperm is there for procreation, not recreation.
Orel understands that a man's yogurt can only be spilled when being used to make a baby, which makes him curious about how babies are made. Putty's response is awesome.
Make babies.
I don't know. Okay, I'm punching out. See you Sunday.
Before continuing, I gotta comment just how much of a hypocrite the Revs is here. Dude's a chronic tissue shooter, and he has the nerve to tell an 11-year-old that it's wrong. At home, Orel asks his dad where babies come from. So Clay looks up the age-appropriate lie and proceeds to explain that God's chef visits ladies in their sleep and
injecting them with the delicious glaze from his holy pastry bag.
Orel then borrows a pastry bag from his mom and then tells Dewey, and us the viewers, that he wants to become God's chef so that he can still charm his one-eyed snake by sneaking into women's homes and squirting his seed inside of them with the pastry bag.
Not a great plan.
Orel carries out his plan, and after a month, most of the women on his block are now infected with Orel 19. Orel finally gets caught and is nearly taken away by the police before Clay shows up and says, "I'll take this from here."
To my study.
Orel explains that he broke curfew because he wanted to be God's chef and to continue turning his doorknob without sin. Clay admits that it's partially his fault for not telling his son the truth about procreation, which caused Orel to go astray and use a strange foreign object in the bedroom instead of using the missionary position. Alright, so that's episode 2 of Moral Orel, God's Chef. So, I don't know what to say about this. This is a fucked up episode. No, people always, when you talk about Moral Orel with the fans, it's always, the end of season 2 and season 3, it gets so dark. Fuck that. I mean, this show starts off dark. This is the second episode. And Orel just impregnated a whole bunch of ladies simply so that he could still jerk off and not feel guilty about it. That's some fucking crazy stuff. So the whole premise is basically about, you gotta teach kids about sex. And that includes masturbation. But here in the Moral Orel universe, in Moralton, the school fails him, the church fails him, and even his own dad fails Orel by never explaining, the true consequences of sex. And even at the end, that never really comes up. It's you don't use a weird item to impregnate a lady. Like, and it should only be done with a guy on top. A couple things that I want to point out from this episode. I got a little list here. The bastard line, I love that.
Well, it's been bastardized over the years.
By who?
Bastards, Orel. Fatherless bastards.
My most favorite, the Reverend Putty line. The doughy facial, I don't know. That might almost be a little too much. I mean, I know it's it's chocolate, or well, I guess it's not chocolate, it's mud. So that makes it like a little less weird, but it's still fucking weird. So we get the pants falling down
I think not.
animation thing that it's kind of a little running joke for the first. Well, that's the first time we've seen it here, where his dad stands up and his pants fall. Oh yeah, there's also Orel's animations that I didn't mention in the first episode, but pretty much every episode during the end credits, it shows basically Orel playing with some toys and taking pictures, and then you actually see the stop motion animation that he made, and it's always somewhat tied to the episode. Basically, it kind of shows how he interpreted what happened, and but sometimes it's just really weird and random. And the last thing, and this is going to be the thumbnail. You probably already saw this because this is the thumbnail. It's Orel's creepy face when he's sitting there jerking off, and that lady wakes up. That's probably my favorite. Like, if I had to take a still from all of More Orel, that would at least be in my top 5 favorite stills from the series. So I'm going to end it here. Hope you guys enjoyed this lazy content. And stick around for episode 3 of what I think I'm going to call the Book of Orel. So, see you then.
And they don't stop coming, 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 and they don't stop coming.